Welcome to week 4 of 8. We are kind of starting the halfway point of our semester, so hopefully by this point you're starting to get used to the flow and the movement of class, how things are going to be organized and set up. Here is the announcement for this week. You have the task list like normal, a little bit of information about this week, and then looking at next week, you do have exam 2 coming up next week. So it's going to cover chapters 21 through 23, so make sure you are already preparing for that. If we go into the lecture folder, again, this is not the student view, so some of these things you won't quite see, don't worry. But you can see these last two, the week 4 and the week 5. In week 4, you have your chapters 22 and 23. Chapter 22 is the immune system. So this one has a couple things in here that are, or one thing really that's different, and that is this flow chart. So you have the notes and the video like normal, and then there's a flow chart. So this is just to help you organize the information. You don't have to submit it. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. However, the immune system is pretty complicated. There are a lot of moving parts, a lot of things working together, and so I strongly encourage you to have some way of organizing this information. Otherwise, though, it's the same stuff. You have a worksheet, extra credit worksheet, and a quiz that you can do. Chapter 23 is the respiratory system. These videos are broken up into 2 parts. So just notice this is a long lecture. This one's 65 minutes, this one's 45 minutes. So some of these lectures that we're getting into now, they're going to be longer than the other ones. However, I do think the respiratory system is a little bit more, it's not quite as complicated as the immune system, I'll say that. It's a little bit easier to understand the respiratory system. There are some tricky concepts with air movement and pressure gradients that you might have trouble with, so make sure you pay attention to the pressure gradients part. But otherwise, it is definitely more straightforward than the immune system, so hopefully you will enjoy it. If we go into lab, next for the week 4, you have lab 6 and lab 7, the respiratory and the urinary lab. This is where we start to get a little bit off in our lecture and lab sequences. So lab will generally be a little bit further ahead than lecture, usually about 1 or so ahead. Hopefully that won't provide too many obstacles for you, since learning the anatomy sometimes it can be easier to learn the anatomy first and then the physiology. Otherwise, it looks exactly the same. You have the lab manual, the video for it, pages, and your quiz. Same thing with the urinary system. Very straightforward in terms of this. Do note that I'm going to go back to this lecture folder, lecture tab. Week 5, so next week is your exam. That is week 5. If you open this up, you'll see the exam 2 folder, and there are your exam resources. You can't see this is the actual exam. You won't be able to see that just yet, but from the extra credit to the review video, you have those resources. Remember, this is where you submit your extra credit worksheets, so those are due next Wednesday by midnight. There's a study outline for you to be able to fill out and complete to help you organize things, and then just the same review PowerPoint and review video. Hopefully those will help you keep going. Again, I apologize that I haven't been submitted the grades for the exams yet. Like I said, I'm still dealing with COVID stuff, and my brain is still just a little fuzzy. But today, tomorrow, I will be grading those, and hopefully by 5 p.m. tomorrow, you will have your exam grades. I strongly encourage you to look over any exams, practicals, make sure that my math, make sure that my choices, my judicious choices about what earned points and what doesn't, that those seem right to you. If you have any complaints or questions or concerns, please reach out to me. I love going back over things with you to tell you this is why you lost half a point, this is why you lost a point. So make sure you take time to review any of those things. Remember, you can go to my grades and see your grades for any of the things. So yeah, we're starting to really fill it up. This is, again, we're halfway through our semester, so this is a really good point to start looking back at your grades, look at your quizzes, look at the practical and the exam once that's been posted, and make sure that you feel comfortable with where you are. All right, have a great week.